Hey guys, today I'm going to be playing a set against one of my friends. I have not played a match in a while, so I'm very looking forward to playing, and I hope you guys will follow along and see how I get on. Honestly, one of the best shots I've ever hit. This should be on tennis TV. I can't believe what happened. I was in the point, hustling, and then this just happened. Check it out, guys. Highlight of the match for sure. So I have my iPad right here. I'm able to check the match and give you my thoughts first time. So this is my first match in a very long time, so I have to build up the confidence when playing and try to find my rhythm. So I started off in the first point, just trading from the baseline, but it was a pretty good finish by me actually, with a passing shot forehand down the line. Next point, so it is love 15. So just trading from the baseline again, trying to feel my rhythm and trying to make a lot of balls. That's most important when starting a match. My opponent makes an unforced error on his backhand, so love 30. In the third point, I'm trying to go cross courts a little bit more often, trying to be patient. I'm not saying I do this all the time, but yeah, definitely when starting off the match, I'm trying to get consistency. So love 40, and unfortunately I make an unforced error on the backhand, a little bit pushed wide, so should have probably made it. And unfortunately I made a second serve unforced error on that point, which is not too ideal. I should have probably made that one. And then I made an error on the following ball, followed by the juice point now. So back to 40-40. Add point on my side. And let's see what happens here. So he comes into the net, and he did very well throughout the match actually. He made a lot of balls on volleys and was very aggressive, so put me under a lot of pressure. So back to juice. I had a nice inside-out backhand side spinning shot, forcing him into an error on his forehand side. My advantage. So this is a bit longer point where we're just trading it out. I go for a drop shot because I see he's pushed back further behind the baseline to secure that point. I've now switched to my camera actually, and this angle was a little bit better on my iPhone. So first point in, trading from the baseline, unforced error on his forehand side. So again, trying to find a little bit of rhythm, but what I'm trying to do is just build the points. But as you can see, I've changed down the line a little bit too early, making an unforced error. Not so good of a mistake. Okay, very good shot here from Josh with a nice drop shot as he pulled me wide on my backhand. So I hit a body serve, jumping backhand cross court. That's one of my signature shots when I used to play, so pretty happy with that one. Okay, second serve. Unforced error, should have gone cross court on that forehand, rookie error. So he's hit a great forehand down the line, pushed me deep, come into the net. He's applying a lot of pressure on me, forcing me into an error. Could have done a little better that game. Great start from Josh with this serve, volley, and approach with his forehand. I saw him coming in, so I tried to go for a little bit more cross court. Unfortunately, I made that return error. So 30 love Josh. That was a great forehand from myself in passing shot. Always tried to defend cross court, that's ideal. So again, building the point from the baseline, enforced error from Josh down the line when changing of direction, possibly change a little bit early. Again, great serve volley from Josh. He's very handy with that serve and volley, and he caught me out a lot of the times in the match. So I felt like I had to work on my tactics to help to counter that. Forced Josh into an error on his backhand side. So it looks back to juice. Second serve, attack deep middle, could have gone a little bit more to his backhand. With the forehand, nice deep cross, sticking in the points, just working the ball. Went down the line big onto Josh's forehand, set out my forehand, went it down the line. That was pretty nice build up of the point for myself. And again, Josh with that serve volley, caught me under. Tricky. So return deep middle, try to stick in the point, staying down nice and low. Got the unforced error. Okay, let's see what happens here. So Josh had a nice slice wide serve, ace. Back to juice. Let's see, so trading the point again from the baseline, hustling. Josh with a nice volley. Could have made that, should have made that probably. Let's see, yeah, finally I got that ball a little bit wider away from Josh when serving and volleying. Maybe his court position wasn't as good. Great from Josh here, really dictative as well. Plenty of points Josh is coming towards the net, putting me under a lot of pressure, so definitely I got to be a little bit more attentive for that. Unfortunately, unforced error. Don't quite like those short, low slice balls on my forehand. Got to make sure I stay down lower and stay with the ball for longer. Okay, let's see. That's it, nice. So just building the points, just trying to make sure, again, as I've been playing a few more games and finding my rhythm a little bit more, but still making some errors which I shouldn't be, like that backhand down the line. I should have gone cross. So sticking with this. Again, this ball was a deep ball down the line, but it didn't go too far for the line, so it's a pretty nice ball. Okay, back to square all. I believe it's 3-all now. Again, cross court with the backhand. Could have done a little bit more with my balls being a little bit deeper, because as you can see, I'm not really pushing Josh under that much pressure, so he's able to dictate. And again, he is able to dictate and changing for a drop shot, as well as putting under more pressure. Let's see, second serve here. Forced error on my backhand. I should have made that on my second serve. On his second serve, should have put him on a bit more pressure. So they'd love him. Nice inside out forehand, closing the net. Ooh, with a sweet little drop shot volley to finish. 30-15. So I managed to get back into this point. And again, Josh is at the net, taking control, dictating. I've got to change something up here. Here we go, 45, Josh. Okay, double fault. Let's see. Okay, wide serve. Unfortunately, I sliced that ball into the bottom of the net. Actually, sorry, it wasn't 15. Ooh, backhand again down the line. I mean, it was the right shot, possibly, but probably could have been a little bit higher over the net if I'm going for a bit more risk. Ooh, one of the best shots of the match with an inside-in forehand. So we're back to deuce now. And again, trading backhand cross court, got to go with a little bit more height and shape. Can't afford to hit that ball low into the net. Okay, building the point from here. Go for a little drop shot, pull Josh into the net. And then, pretty good point here as well, but bringing it back to deuce with a little dig down the line. All right, great deep return from myself. Stepping in with the backhand to drive. But unfortunately, okay, I went to his forehand. Unfortunately, he pulled it very well, but maybe I should have gone cross court. But you should approach down the line as well. So it's just one of those things where Josh was in the right position, made the right ball. So 4-3 to Josh. Great approach shot, great return down the line on Josh's forehand. As I've noticed when playing in the match, my strategy improved, and as you'll see later on in the games, I managed to strategize myself in serving towards better targets, making more first serves as well, which is very important. And again, I served to his forehand. 2 mistakes he's made. 1 forehand winner down the line, and now he forced me into an error. Okay, this is an important point here where it's 30-all, and I go for a huge forehand inside out. Again, I should have stayed solid and true to myself and just relaying that ball nice and deep. Fortunately, he gave me an unforced error on that return, so back to deuce here. So building that point, working the ball. Okay, unforced error. My advantage. Backhand goes cross or deep middle. Nice. Try to keep myself back into the point. Go cross court with my backhand, forcing into an error. Nice. We're back to 4-4 now. Okay, I've gone forehand down the line. Oh, different type of shot. I should probably thinking I'm brave here. I'm going to try it down the line. But what happens when I go down the line is that he has the open court cross court. Got a nice backhand inside out return. Probably a bit lucky there, but a nice finish on the backhand. Okay, we're building in. Yeah, great shot from Josh. He stepped in very well on that backhand to go down the line. Very nice from Josh, good hands. He's very comfortable with coming close to the net, and I noticed that either I had to get it down low to his feet or keep it a little bit wider from him, but usually I love to return deep middle, so a little bit different and tricky for me there. It's a nice long point here. Unfortunately, I made it an unforced error there. All right. Okay, back on my serve. So, started off with a strong wide serve to Josh's backhand, putting him under pressure, and actually I was getting a lot more freer points. So I realised strategy-wise in the match is me going wide to his backhand worked quite effectively. So again, 2 first serves going wide to the backhand, and again to the backhand, second serve to the backhand on the 3rd point as well. Again, sticking in the point. I mean, I'm a little bit cautious right now because I'm thinking I'm making a few more errors, so just got to make him play more balls. Okay, so now it's 4-4, and it's a big game here, so I'm looking to break. So as you can see, Josh has a forehand which he could have taken on, but he chose a drop shot, probably the wrong shot at that time. And again, I'm looking to try to make more balls, so that little chip return gets me into the point, but unfortunately Josh pushed me wide on that wide forehand. So now I'm in the point. Josh has a nice volley. Again, sticking those high volleys. I'm in trouble there. And again, great wide serve from Josh here. So it's a crucial time in the match, and definitely one to make and play a lot of balls. So it's back to Juice. Unfortunately made a double fault there. Again, oh, not quite returned then, yeah. First serve, missed. Second serve. Okay, make that backhand nice, high, deep middle. And again, deep cross, sticking in the point. This is a long rally here. Try to make him play a lot of balls. So building the point, cross and high and heavy deep. Go across court again. And as you can see, unforced error. So what I'm trying to do is try to draw the errors by making him play more balls. Great serve by Josh. And again, forcing me into an error on my wide backhand, which is very tough, especially when on the stretch. Made him play the ball down to his feet, an awkward shot. Unfortunately made an error. So here we go. Second serve. Make him play. Deep cross. Great shot from Josh on his forehand side. He's looking to take charge coming into the net. I'm trying to hustle and get my way back into the point with a slice backhand. Not a bad volley from Josh, but not deep enough, so I was able to lob him. That was my first lob of the match, pretty good. Okay, serving for the set. Second serve. Again to that backhand. He returns deep middle, good shot. Again, low ball, enforced error from Josh. Serving to that backhand, drawing the error. Okay, key here is that I've been thinking strategy-wise over trying to play the ball that I see incoming. I went for a drop shot volley and an amazing passing shot from Josh. Here we go, 35. So as you can see, second serve to the backhand, unforced error. It was a little bit tucked into his backhand, so it's a little bit trickier. And again, Josh is just trying to hustle, but unfortunately he made an unforced error on his forehand, so that was the match. So guys, that was a full set of tennis from me, and it was my first set in a long time, but very, very fun to play. And thank you, Josh, for playing me in this match. So I've got the stats just here, but I'm going to show you guys the stats on the screen as well, so you guys can follow along. So as you can see, there was a few double faults from Josh, and he had one ace. So the chunk of the match was based upon the second serve. So my first serve percentage was actually very high, 85%. Josh is even at 78%, which was great. But what I want you to notice that in particular is the points won on the second serve. So I had 75% points won on my second serve, whereas Josh had 36. So that was a big deciding factor. Another factor in the serves in returns is that what I try to do in my second serve returns is I try to go deep middle or push him back a little deeper behind the baseline rather than trying to go for a winner or really try to put too much pressure on the return. So I made him play a lot of extra balls, which was key here. We did make quite a few unforced errors, which again happens. It's part of tennis when trying to go for more shots, but it's all about the calculated risk and reward. Is it worth taking on the ball to go for that type of winner or really put them under that much pressure? Sometimes it's not. Go for the bigger margins, and what I like to say is try to go with your gut instinct, pick the right shot at the right time. Don't try to go for something that you wouldn't normally want to go for at that present moment. So stick with the plan. So those were a little bit of the stats from the match, but what I wanted to break down on my side is that I needed to stick with the plan of going cross-court more frequently, defending cross-court more often as well. And when being more offensive down the line, I needed to go with a little bit more shape as opposed to flattening the ball out. I also found that on my first serve returns, I needed to make more balls, whether or not I were to drive them and attack them or block them deep. But what I needed to do was make him play more balls. And one thing that Josh did very well in countering my returns is that he would come into the net, and Josh won multiple points when volleying at the net, and he did this so well because he was able to see the balls floating a little bit higher and slower, and he was able to capitalize by stepping in and taking them with the volleys. So that worked very well from Josh. I would say on Josh's side, I would say in trading his ground strokes a little bit more with depth and a bit of width would be more effective, because he gave me a few unforced errors on balls that he should have probably made to put me under more pressure. I reckon that if Josh were to minimize those unforced errors, he would have capitalized and won the set. So I was a little bit fortunate towards the end, but overall a very fun match, and yeah, hopefully I can do a lot more of these matches in future. So if you like these types of videos, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, be sure to subscribe and like. It really helps my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.